welcome. This is just some helpful hints for the calculator for section 10.3, which is calculator coin toss. So in the investigation, you can compare theoretical probabilities by flipping a coin, but we don't actually flip a coin this many times. It's going to take too long. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the calculator to do a lot of this random stuff for us very quickly. Alright, so step 1, to number your tosses, enter the sequence number from 1 to 100 in list 1 on your calculator. So we're going to try and do this step 1. Now we don't want to actually enter them into your calculator one at a time. That would take too long. So we're going to go to stat, we're going to hit enter, and we're going to go to list 1. Now you might have some stuff in your lists. Remember how to clear them out. You go up until list 1, you hit the clear button, and then you hit enter. Alright, so we're going to make sure that L1 is highlighted just like this. You can hit enter, and then what we're going to do is the following. We are going to go to list, so you hit second, stat, and we want to go to the right until OPS, operations, happen. And we're going to look for number 5, sequence. There it is. Okay, and now, what's our expression? We're going to say just X. Okay, what's our variable? It is also X. Where are we going to start? We want to start at 1. We want to end at 100. Okay, and then how much are we going to go up by? Well, we're going to go up by 1s. So you hit enter. So it should be X, X, 1, 100, 1. If you need to pause this, that way you can get this on your calculator, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going. I hit enter again, and I should get the numbers 1 through 100. Now I'm not going to scroll down. If I go up a few times, I should see I get to 100. Great. So I did that part. So I've now put the numbers in 1 through 100. Let's go back and now look at our next step. Okay, our next step is, if your calculator randomly chooses a 0 or 1, it's just like flipping a coin and getting tails or heads. We're going to let 0 represent tails and 1 represent heads. Enter 100 randomly generated 0s and 1s into list 2. Okay, so this is how we're going to do that. We're going to go back to the calculator, and here we go. So we're going to make sure L2 is highlighted. If there's anything in there, hit clear, hit enter. That way it clears everything out. And then we're going to make sure L2 is highlighted. And now what we're going to go to is you're going to go to math. And we're going to go to the right to probability. Alright? And we don't want just a random number because we want random numbers in between certain spots. Okay? So we're going to go down to number 5, random int. Okay? And what's our upper number? 0. Our lower number is 0. Sorry. Our upper number is 1. And how many times are we going to do this? We're going to do this 100 times. And if we enter and enter again, I should be able to say go. And it's thinking, and there we go. We get 0s and 1s in a random order. The calculator just automatically randomly selects them. Okay, so now we have done that part of, we have done that part of randomly getting 1s and 0s into list 2. Okay, so now the next thing we have to do is we want to be able to add up all the 1s, right, because 1s are all our heads and 0s are tails. So if we add up all these numbers, that will tell us how many heads we have, right? Because we have 1 heads here, another heads, another heads, another heads, another heads, but all the other 0s just mean they're not heads. So it's really kind of smart if we use 0s because that means we're not adding anything onto it for tails. Okay, so we're going to use the cumulative sum for list 2, and we're going to put that into list 3. So we're going to go over to list 3, and we're going to hit clear, hit enter. Okay, go back up to list 3, hit enter, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to second list again. We're going to go over to OPS, and we're going to go down to number 6, cumulative sum. Alright, so we're going to hit enter, and we want a cumulative sum of L2, right? So we're going to hit second 2, and then hit enter. And we have 1. There's still only a 1 because 1 plus 0 is 0, 1 plus 0 plus 0 is still 1. Plus another 1 is 2, so we should be able to add up all of our 1s. So if there's ever a 0, it's just a repeat right here. Okay, so if I go up, I can see how many total heads did I have? 49. Alright, so we have done that part with the calculator. Okay, so there we go. So the table below shows an example of which tails tells what. What does it mean if 8 and 9th value in list of L3 are both 4? So what does that really mean? You'll be able to answer that later. Okay. Alright, and here is the last part, total heads. We're going to try and do step 4 here. So this is helping with step 4. Calculate the ratio of heads to total number of tosses by entering L3 divided by L2 into list 4. Let's just, oh, I'm sorry. It's L3 divided by L1. That's what it should be, L3 divided by L1, because we want total number of heads divided by total number of tosses. So L3 divided by L1. So we're going to go over to L4. Make sure L4 is highlighted. We're going to hit enter, and then we just want to take second L3 and we divide it by second L1. Enter, and there we go. We should get 1, 100%, 50%, 30%, 50%. And so these are all just percentages, right? We're just writing them as decimals, not as percentages. Okay, so there is help with L4. Now let's help you with step 5. Create a scatter plot using L1 as the x values and L4 as the y values. Name an appropriate graphing window for this plot. Okay, so looking L4 goes between 0 and 1. The highest percentage is going to be 100, lowest percent is going to be 0, and it has to be everything in between there. And our L1s go between 0 and 100. So let's go to second y equals, stat plot, make sure it's turned on. Okay, that's good. And list, y list is not going to be L2, it's going to be L4, right? Because we want to have that percent. Okay, so then our window is going to go, x minimum goes between 0 and 100. Alright, I don't have every tick mark, I'll just have every 10 show up. Alright, our y minimum is 0, our y maximum is going to be 1. I'm just going to make it a little bit larger so that way everything fits on the screen. And I have 0.1 be my y scale. Alright, so now if I graph this, oh, and I forgot to go back to y equals and clear this stuff out. And we're going to go to y equals, there we go. We're going to clear this one out, and we're going to clear this one out, so that way my graph looks like this. It looks like there's a whole bunch of data in here, and there is, but there's 100 points that they just graphed, right? So that's kind of what it looks like. Okay, good. So that's how we did that part. And then the second part, enter the theoretical probability for step 6 of tossing a head into y1. So remember, you go to y equals, and what's the probability of getting heads? Now don't write it as a percentage, write it as a decimal, because otherwise it won't show up in your graph. So there's the help with the calculators. Good luck.